Back to Turkey next, where jailed PKK leader Abdullah Öcalan has made a historic declaration this Thursday. The statement, which was delivered by the pro-Kurdish DEM party, calls on PKK militants to lay down their arms and dissolve itself. Now, the call could lay the groundwork to end the decades-long conflict between Kurdish groups and the Turkish state. Ankara recently offered an olive branch to 75-year-old Öcalan aimed at bringing an end to the insurgency, which has claimed tens of thousands of lives. For more on this story, we can go across to France 24's Jasper Mortimer, standing by in Ankara. Jasper, how historic is this announcement?
Well, it's the third time since Öcalan's capture in 1999 that the PKK has, that Öcalan himself, the founder of the PKK, has called on his fighters to put down their arms. Now, the other two times, shortly after his capture in 1999 and then in 2013, war resumed later because the Kurds felt that they hadn't got their share of the bargain, that the government hadn't delivered. So the big question is now that they've called for a ceasefire today, whether the Turkish government will match it by ceasing fire from its own side and deliver what the Kurds are asking for. The Kurds are basically seeking a form of freedom for Öcalan, for him to be released from prison and put under house arrest or something like that, but allowed to be on the Turkish mainland rather than on an island in the Marmara Sea. They're also asking for a measure of autonomy for the Kurdish majority provinces of southeastern Turkey. There are about 10 of them. And they also want high schools, primary schools, in the Kurdish language. They call it mother tongue education. Today, Öcalan said the reason why the PKK acquired support is because democratic and political channels were closed to it. And after calling on the PKK fighters to lay down their arms and for the PKK itself to dissolve itself, Öcalan basically said to President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, gather your Congress and make decisions. He wasn't telling Erdogan what decisions to make, but he was clearly saying, now we want our quid pro quo. So there's that question that must be answered by the government. The second question is whether the PKK leadership, the military group's leadership, which is based in the Kandil area of northern Iran, whether they're going to accept this, whether they will abide by Öcalan's call, or whether they will think that Öcalan has made it under duress. He's been under Turkish imprisonment for 26 years. Perhaps the PKK leaders might say, no, we're going to go on fighting because the government hasn't delivered.
Because that was my next question to you, Jasper. Given that this insurgency has gone on for decades, tens of thousands of people have died. Yes, Ankara has offered this olive branch, but what is the chances and likelihood that everyone's suddenly going to get along?
This is an open question. I am surprised that Öcalan has made this declaration before the government has said what it is going to do. Normally in peace processes, such as the Northern Ireland peace process, when the IRA was negotiating with the British government, the laying down of arms by the IRA was the last stage in the peace process, not the first. So I'm a little surprised that the Kurdish leadership has decided to make its retreat from the armed struggle at such an early stage of the peace process.
We'll see what reactions, of course, that announcement does get in the hours to come. Thank you very much for that, Jasper. Jasper Mortimer reporting there from Ankara.